Everybody, welcome back to this daily and intraday review. Today is February the 7th, 2018. It's 1:15 p.m. EST time in Toronto. I'm Giuseppe Basile, also known as the FibStalker, and this video is part of the FibStalker analysis and trading service. Now, as usual, I have the usual disclaimer here: forex trading and stocks and futures and financial markets trading has a high level of risk and is suitable for all investors. Now, if you have not read and accepted this disclaimer, please do pause your video now and read and accept this disclaimer. Thank you. All right, so let's get into the market, and I'm going to start from the SP 500 here. That's what you see on the screen. This market has traded yesterday the 25.27. And it's currently within that area, halfway short. We had a sequence of measure move here on the 4-hour time frame, getting into that that level, and we have a failure level as well. So it's lows to highs. First target as traded here, then lows to highs, and the first target has traded again. And now the market is coming back, so the failure is going to be from lows to new highs here. Okay, and if the market goes below 26.58, then we have to consider the this level here, the 27.04 traded, and we should see the market continuing move lower in the market. The dollar index is continuing higher, and this is very welcome here. So at the moment it's trading the 90.17. This is in play, all right, and the market can continue higher. Now, when we look at what has traded here, the extension short 94.33 into that first target, then the lows to whatever new lows here, 93.24, could come into play. That's the next measure move. Okay, now there are also other levels that we need to consider. The all the way halfway back is also important. It's always important, and that's the 91.44. So these two level shorts will be added to the levels, the FibStalker levels PDF you're gonna get. So when we look at this market here, it is extended. The what has traded is a previous anchor low here, from lows to highs, and that first target has been hit. So this market could continue higher now, and we could see the 91.47 coming into play. Make no mistake, they're gonna have a throwback eventually, and we're going to understand whether the dollar index then is continuing lower or it's putting up a reversal on top of that 50%. Gold has traded the 50% short here, the 130 the 13.45, and the first target is very, very close, as we mentioned also in the FibStalker level PDF. The price is in a weekly range, 1261 to 1349, with a downwards bias, and this weekly 1317 is now trading, and it's under pressure. So if the 1306 is pierced here, it's very possible for this market to go all the way into the 50%, 126.34 for a second test. Okay, and that's what we're seeing here in the market. That was gold. Silver, same thing, of course. A weakness here, the 16.95 that we mentioned as traded, and it has targets below. The first target, 16.34, we indicated yesterday, has been hit here, and this market now has two options: either it continues lower into that second target and start trading in extensions, or the 50% comes into play. Okay, so the 16.43 has been pierced here. I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to give you the next 50% retrace. All right, so let's continue with the majors here, starting from Australian dollar, US dollar. This market has continued lower here, and it's basically selling off. So the market never came to trade this 79 85 and 79.55 here. So what's trading at the moment is the basically it's the old way halfway back. Okay, so this market is in a very long-term range here. If you look at it, and this 50% has never held. Now, I do not anticipate it holding, but we could get a bounce, and because this market is very extended, I'm going to still use the extension here. So if we get a bounce into 079.48, that should still be a valid market, a valid bounce. Okay, now when we look at the 4-hour time frame here, the inner extension has traded, brought price into that first target, and it's now pushing price into that second target. The 50% here has barely held, and there is target below as well. So we have two targets below. The first target lines up with the second target of the extension and the 50% short. So the market could actually get a bounce around this area if it doesn't bounce around the 50% halfway back here. Okay, so this could be a continued move lower, and remember that this market has traded an odd extension. You know, the 50% is below that. That's the 74.80, which we're going to add on the Excel. Moving to the euro. The euro dollar has also continued lower, and as you can see, an important development happened here. So the market has actually pierced the 122.63, and that happened within the 50% short. Obviously, we are seeing in reverse what we see in the dollar index here. Okay, so this is a very important development, meaning that weekly longs are not there anymore to support this price. And so the point here is that at this point, the last measured move that had traded and brought price into that first target was an extension, and so the most logical is a deep retrace into 117.71. Okay, so that's what we see on the weekly time frame here. Of course, that's a long way, but this market continues the correction here. It's a long way to go, but it's not impossible. So the 123.14, it's gone. When we look at the 4-hour time frame here, you know, the support level is not there anymore, and this market, when we look at this full retrace here, right, that's going to drive us going forward here. Okay, and I'm going to use the lows, two new lows here. That's the 24.04. So here really this is not, we don't really know exactly what has traded. So I'll be more conservative here, and I'll use the 123.54 for any retraces. You can see here from the daily time frame, this market traded the 24.38 first target, second target it's about to be hit, and after that, you know, this market could continue lower in extension. So after that, there's a congestion area here that could bounce price into 122, 122.93 area. Okay, but the anchor you need to use is the anchor I'm going to use is the 123.17. all right, so this is for the euro dollar. The pound also has strongly pushed lower here, and at this point we are going to we are going to assume that and the extension long here has also failed, right? Very much like for the euro. And when we look at these markets here, we have this extension that we identified from 124.06. So similarly to what we did for the euro, we have highs to highs, and this market could move as low as 33.74 before offering an opportunity. So this is again highs to new highs, and we're gonna see whether what's gonna happen when all these markets move lower and the dollar index tests its resistance. Okay, so new level for new weekly level for pound is 133.74. The daily here it's very extended, and we mentioned that 139.98 that came right into play. So as you can see here, and on the daily, on the so we don't need to go down to the 4-hour time frame here. This market is trading very technically on the daily here, and the first target is 137.60, and the second target is below 136.63. Still a long way. This market might bounce, of course, and or continue to trade in extensions. So keep that in mind as we continue lower. US dollar, Canadian dollar on the other hand is recovering higher. It has traded that extension, that one of the levels that I was looking for, and I mentioned that the extension lows to 23.31 too high would be too deep of a correction, and this market actually held to the 121.2501. So this is now challenging the 25.82. If this market continues higher, we would probably see no response here in this area. So we'll see what happens. The first target is 125.96, the second is 126.46, and that's the second target of this extension that has played here, the 125.01. Next is the US dollar Swiss franc, and this market is also moving strongly higher, and it's actually broke. So we are seeing all these markets breaking important levels, whether they are euro, pound, New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, or on the other end US dollar. So Swiss franc, US dollar, Canadian dollar, US dollar, Japanese yen. They all show the same patterns, and they break levels all together. So 93 and 94 has pierced here, and now the next level is going to be 94 higher, and that's where we're gonna likely going to see this market. Okay, in the move higher here, this market did not come to retest all the way halfway back, which indicates that there is urgency for this market to move higher. So 50% is traded here on the 4-hour time frame, and that second target, it's 94.64, that helps price into that 94.94. So that's what we are seeing here on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so as these levels pierce, there'll be new levels that come into play, and again, as I did for the dollar index here, I'm gonna use the highs to lows 50%. I'm gonna add this level 96.44 that we're gonna watch going forward. Know that we also have a 94.74 here, and that's an inner measure move of this move lower here that could offer resistance to price. Next is the US dollar Japanese yen, and this market is kind of we would have I mean clearly the US dollar Japanese yen is strong here because we would have seen a much stronger reaction higher in this market, but clearly that's not happening. And and this market is currently moving laterally on top of this support. You could also make the case that the daily chart here have traded. We can see this on the 4 hour, but basically this market is moving laterally on top of this 108.82. So this could still continue higher, but as you can see, this market is very weak. And probably if the dollar index correction ends and the dollar index resumes the move lower, then we're gonna see this market selling very, very quickly. So be careful on this market at the moment. This market has pierced short here, but then came to trade again 108 level. Okay, so it's still in that range, but I don't trust this market. I don't trust this market a lot. Okay, let's move to the miners now. Starting from New Zealand dollar, US dollar, that's traded the level that we indicated yesterday. The area here that was very, very close, these two levels, 73. 45 and 73.33. As you can see, 73.45 has traded. That's the highest, the full 50% retrace, and this market has targets below into the 72.18 and 71.87, which is the target that is more probable here. So after that, we will see what happens and how this market reacts, and we will see whether we get a bounce, a tradable bounce here. If this market gets into this level, the next measure move will be a traditional measure move from highs to lows. That's what we're gonna trace here. Okay, so congrats those of you who took the trade here. It's working very well and pushing price lower into that first target 72.15. And last market for this review is going to be the US dollar Singapore dollar. As we can see here, the Singapore dollar that uses a proxy for the dollar index is also moving higher here, and so the next resistance level is going to be 133.59. And that's where probably we're gonna look where we're gonna see this market. So when we look at the sequence of measured moves on the 4 hour, on the daily here, we can see market went into the first and second target, and then it did not came to trade the next 50%. An inner trace has notable trace here has come into play. And this market in any case is continuing higher. That's what we wanted to see, and that's the trace that came into play. We can make the case of this one because that's after hitting that second target to the pip, as you can see here, 122.37. And so this price has targets above. One is very close, 132.69, and the second one is 133.23, helping price into that 33.59 is going to be our next resistance level for this market. Thanks for watching. Now, hey, if you are interested, you can check out my website, www.fibstalker.com. I have some free material there for you. You can jump on my newsletter. Many people have made money just on my newsletter recommendations. I have a free course, Winning with Algos course. Don't miss it. My research, you can check my research ebook. I have some other material there. And if you're not a client and you wanna have a free 45 minutes breakthrough strategy session call, just go to this link and fill in your information. It's a no pressure call. We're going to review your trading. You're going to tell me where you are at, and if I can help you, I'll be very happy. And you'll end the session with a game plan how to reach your trading objectives in 2018. So don't miss that. I'm looking forward to have a chat with you. I also have some products. I have now started the FibStalker Methods Coaching Program online session 6, and I also have the analysis and trading service, which is the video, part of which is the video that you just saw, the video analysis you just saw. As part of this service, I also offer the FibStalker analysis and trading service Excel sheet here that you see here on the screen. I provide FibStalker daily and weekly levels with profit targets here for many markets, a few futures here, SP500 E-mini, dollar index, gold mini and silver mini, and the majors, and many other forex pairs. If you are interested, just you can go to the website and sign up for the 1 month free trial. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye bye now.